we have certified more than 7,000 customers for management system since 2005, when the KBS certification has been incepted. Now the KBS is providing the services in sustainability and ESG service, the climate change service, management system certification services, the management system trainings as a lead auditor, training from CQI IRCA. Also, KBS provide the internal auditor certificate or internal auditor training, third-party inspection, and the product certification, that is CE marking, and the CMMI appraisal for the organizations. The KBS accreditation has got with the JAS ANGS, that the Joint Accreditation Services of Australia and New Zealand, UNFCCC as DOE, and Accountability UK for as AA1000, and the EIAC Emirates International Accreditation Center, IFIELD, and the CQI IRCA. These are the accreditation the KBS certification is having. Now come to the main theme of our today's webinar. This is the information security management system. Now we have to learn about what is information system. So information system is an integrated set of components for collecting, storing, processing of data, and providing the information, knowledge, and digital products to their customers. An information security system is made up of 5 components. What are the 5 components? That is the hardware, software, database, network, and the people. These are the main components of an information system. So these 5 components should be integrated with each other for the input, process, and output, and the ultimate control of the information system. So you will all know that hardware consists of input and output device, the processor, operating system, and media devices as well. So there are some type of information systems are there for the flow of data, production of data, and the storing of data and processing of data. That is the MIS, TPS, DSS, and pyramid diagram. These are the 5 components you can have in information system. The pyramid diagram, why for pyramid diagram is used? The pyramid diagram is used for by a organization for level of the information requirement. So step by step, the level of information, what information is required for that. The TPS is the transaction processing system, is used for the recording day-to-day business transactions. So what business that every day the organization is performing, it has to be captured in the TPS system. The MIS, the management information system, is used by an organization for the control of integrated process of the organization by which their core activity is to be controlled. Decision support system means DSS. DSS used for planning of any decision-making process. It may be planning of staffing. It may be taken a judgment against any vital decision taken by the organization that is controlled or that is processed by the decision supporting system. Artificial intelligence techniques in business is a very useful tools of the management for analyzing the malicious files and IP address by implementing the artificial intelligence techniques. So an organization can detect or analyze the malicious file which is coming to their information system. So online analytic processing is the OALAP for extracting and the view of data in multiple sources. So your data in any organization, data may come from the multiple source. So extracting this data and extracting and storing in your safe place, the OLP is being used. These 6 are the basic functions of the information system for capturing data or transmitting data, the storing of data, retrieving of data, and the manipulation of data and display information. So by these 6 basic functions, you can control or manage your information system. So now we will know that what is the benefit of the information system, why this information system is to be implemented in a organization. It will enhance the operational efficiencies. It will reduce the cost. The cost reduction benefits will be there, and supply of information to decision makers. That means the processing of data or providing the data to the decision maker through this information system can be done. The better customer service and the continuous availability of the system. Okay. So growth on communication capabilities and methods. These are the benefits of the keeping one information system within an organization. Now we will know about what is ISO 27001 Information Security Management System. This ISO IEC 27001-2013 is the central framework of the entire 27000 family of the standard. That means series of the standard. There are so many standards. We will come on a later stage that what is the 27000 series. There are so many series, but this 27001 by which the entire information security management system can be controlled. The 27,000 is a series of documents relating to various parts of the information security management system. In 27,000 series of uh, standard, you will find some series are guideline series, how to use the this. Some is the sector specific guidelines. Some is the uh, activity specific guidelines. On the 27001 is the requirement standard, and this is the central framework of the entire ISO 27000 family. This standard contains the implementation requirements. What is the requirement? It is mentioned in this 27001. These requirements are essential very much to achieve the compliance of the standard and the legal and statutory and regulatory requirement. This ISMS, ISO 27001-2013 can be taken as a systematic approach which consists of various process, technology, and people who help an organization to protect their information system through effective risk management. Now, why an organization needs the information security management system in their organization? As I told you that ISMS provides a systematic approach, as because there are okay, so there are the system you have to follow in by the standard, that is by clause wise, by PDCA cycle. I request participant to mute themselves. Mr. Saurabh, please mute yourself. Okay, fine. Thank you. So information security management system ISO 27001 is a centrally managed framework which enables organization to monitor, review, and improve their information security practice in one place. This ISMS protects all type of information, including intellectual property, that is the property of the organization, company secrets, and the personal information. That means personal information means the information of their employees or their customers, whether it is in a digital formation or in a hard copy, whatever it may be, that where it is stored. It may be stored in the organization itself. It may be stored in the cloud or the server of the organization. The ISMS implementation and maintaining the ISMS will enhance any organization's resistivity or resistance to the cyber attack. If you go for a robust information security management system within your organization, you will be able to protect your information assets of your organization. Now, how any organization can be benefited from the information security controls. There are some controls. We will know about that controls on a later stage. But the benefit from the implementing the information security management system with the information security control, it will protect organization ability to function. It will protect or enables the safe operation of the organization application, which is implemented through the IT system of the organization, and it protects the data of the organization, which the organization collects and uses. The main theme of the information security management system is CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. So by applying or by implementing the information security management system within an organization, so any organization can protect their information assets, whatever the asset it may be protected and maintaining the confidentiality and the integrity and availability of information. There are 7 layers of information security control in the ISMS. The one step-by-step layer, applying the step-by-step layers of security controls will enhance the information security performance of an organization. What is these 7 layers of security control? First is the asset security. The most critical, this is the asset security is the most critical resources which are used to perform the operation of that organization. The level of the protection for each asset should be categorized. When you going for this 7 layer, in the first layer you have to implement the asset security. Any type of assets is to be assessed for their criticality. As per the criticality, they have to be categorized what type of security that particular asset needs as per their function and value of that information stored or processing or produced by that particular assets. Value means not only financial value, the value of the entire information to the organization. Now the data security, second layer is the data security. Data security is mainly the targeted layer from the hackers. Their data security controls protected or organizations storage, transfer of data, or preservation of data. So this is the most important part of a layer of the security where the targeted, attempted target for the data security may be there by the hackers or by the any type of miscreants. So application security, third layer is the application security. Application security protects access to an application or software to the unauthorized, from the unauthorized access of that particular application. Only authorized users can be allowed to access that application or the software. The endpoint security is the, what is endpoint security? Endpoint security is the organizational network which is connected from with the any device. That endpoint security controls the connection between the device and the network. It may be possible that any organization are using the multiple network service. So this is one critical layer to protect the information, either transmission, information from transmission, information during the protection, during the receiving from by the various networks, and if it is a single network, that protection must be there. So endpoint security is also a layer of network security. It is control the organization connected device and prevent the unauthorized access to the network by any unauthorized person. Perimeter security is the sixth security of this 7 layer of security. This layer including the physical and legal controls, digital controls, which ensure the control access to the organization sites and the information processing facility. Human layer security. This is the most important layer of security, the last layer of security, as because 95% breaches of information assets made by the human being or the employees or the persons who are processing or okay. So humans are the most risky part. I have admitted also. That's one. So my slide is not visible. Hello, my friends.
It is visible, sir.
Some Madam Pritam has messaged me that unable to view slides. So, Miss Pritam, are you not able to view my slide?
Sir, the slide is not, the screen is showing blank on my
So you
phone.
okay? You can do one thing, madam. You can just log out and then log in.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you. I will do that right away.
So
Thank you.
actually, everyone is. I asked about that whether my screen is visible or not.
It was visible, but for some reason it is not showing now. I will log out and re-sign it. Thank you.
Yeah. It may be a network issue. That is a vulnerability in.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Please do it and let me know. Let me know.
Yes, sir.
So these are the 7 layers of the security controls in which the organization can focus to protect their information assets. Now, if any organization implement the ISMS within their organization, so there must be some benefits. So what are those benefits? So this ISMS, ISO IEC 2700012013 has got set of policies. First benefit is has got. In other management system, you will find that one policy is there. Only one policy. That if your organization adopt the quality management system, there is a quality policy. If it is a environmental management system, the company has to take that environmental policy, the single policy. If it is a occupational health and safety management system, that is the OHSMS policy, or the energy management system, the energy policy. But differ from this all the standards, the ISMS has got set of policy. It has got, definitely it has got the IS policy, that information security policy. Yes, I have admitted you, and now my screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. But in ISMS, apart from this information security policy, there are a number of other policies are there. You can find it out in the Annexure A of the standard ISO 27001, which is derived from the ISO 27002. This set of policy and procedures in Annexure A, it has been indicated that in which control you need a procedure, in which particular control you need a policy. So there are 114 controls in the ISMS. These 114 control, out of this 114 control, some of the controls need policies and some of the control need procedures also. So this ISMS, that ISMS ISO 27001 is a combination of set of policies by which that organization can manage the information risks like cyber attacks, hacking, or the data leakage, or the data theft, or the information theft in any type of vulnerabilities you can manage. This is the main benefit for implementing the ISMS in an organization. If you implement the ISMS within your organization, your ISMS will secure your information assets in all forms, whether it is any form, whether it is in a hard copy or whether it is in a digital copy. So ISMS helps organization for protect all type of information, whether it is in a hard copy or where it is stored, whether it is stored in the server or it is stored in the cloud, anything it may be, that, and this ISMS can be implemented in any organization, whether it is a small organization or a big organization. Now, benefits, one more important benefits of the implementing the ISMS is increase resilience to the cyber attack. If you implement a systematic, robust ISMS within your organization, so it will enhance your ability to resistance from the cyber attack. It will, that ISMS will help you to respond for evolving any security threat. It may be from the human beings, it may be from the employee, it may be from the other source, the threat agents. You can respond to the threat agents in a timely manner and continuously adapting and continuously checking of their implemented measure against any type of vulnerabilities will reduce the growing risks of the attack. It also reduces the cost associated with the information security for the risk assessment. If you go on a regular basis, so your one-time cost of entire information assets risk assessment cost may be reduced in a substantial manner. The analysis approach should be there, and if it is regularly done, that approach for the risk assessment, they can, and the organization can reduce the cost for the defensive technology from the any type of threat agent. Now, more benefits for the information security, implementing the information security management system is it will enhance the company culture where everyone will be aware of, and everyone will understand the importance of the information system of their organization. If it's in risk, then what will be the impact, and to apply the appropriate control to the particular type of risks, it will improve the overall organization culture from protection of confidentiality, integrity, and the availability of the information. So this is the confidentiality, availability, and integrity. That CIA is the main theme of the information security management system. If you implement your ISMS within your organization, it will offer a wide protection, like it will provide you a reduction of the cost, or it will provide a responding framework from the evolving of the any type of security threat. It will protect your organization from the technology-based risks and the risks from the outside. Any poorly informed staff or the persons, and for any type of lack in the procedure of keeping the information secure, it will give a protection. Also, this ISO IEC 27001-2013 will provide a central framework or the governance system to the organization to manage their security risks within the organization. Now, how one organization will implement the ISMS within their organization. This implementation of ISMS may be divided into steps. There are basic 9-step approach for an implementation of ISMS. First step is, if you want to implement ISMS within your organization, now you have to frame out a project mandate. That means you have to frame out a project description. What will be that project? That project will be the implementation project of information security management system within the organization. Now, what in this step, project mandates, you have to check out first that what is the step you have to start. So you have to start from somewhere to implement the ISMS. That who will be the project leader? First step, the identification of the project leader, who will initiate and begin the initiation of the implementation of the ISMS within the organization. Now you have to make some questionnaire. Second thing is the making or framing out the questionnaire. The questionnaire may be different type. Here are the some basic important questions are shown. That what are we hoping to achieve? That means what are your target for achieving? Second thing is the how long it will take to implement the ISMS within an organization. So this time frame, how long it is needed to be achieved. It also depends upon the various other aspects. Okay, so the cost factor, the information security implementation is also a cost factor. It has to be decided by the top management how much cost will be there for implement a robust information security management system to protect their information assets. Now, whether the management will support in this manner, in this project. This is the first step that you have to go through, the first step of the project mandate. Second step is the after project mandate. If your all the questions are in the assertive nature, that means you have uh, you have been assured by the management that they will support it. The cost will be given by the management. The time frame has been set already by your team, that project team. Then what will be the achievement? What will be your achievement? Achievement will be the implementation of a robust and effective information security management system. And that the project leader, who will be the project leader, the name of the project leader has been decided in the project mandate. Now, second step is the project initiation. How you will initiate the project. Now, after project mandate, your work starts. In step 2, that you have to set up the project and the project governance structure. So, within which framework or within which structure you will move forward for the project initiation. First initiation point, you have to frame out, or you have to establish your information security objectives for your different processes which are involved in this particular project. It may be your any processes. So objective, information security objective, first thing is the establishing of the information security objective. Second step is the formation of the entire project team who will work in the implementation of the ISMS. Now the third is the project plan. How the entire project will be driven. Who will be the driver? Fourth point is initiation is the making of the risk register of every type of activities. You cannot omit any type of activity from protection. So you have to frame out or make a risk register, in which risk register every activity and the sub activity, you can say sub activity also, can be mentioned, that what type of main activity and what type of sub activity may be impacted in case of any data breaches. Now it is very much important for this project of implementing ISMS, the role of the ISMS manager, that means security manager, information security manager, or appointing one CISO, Chief Security Information Security Officer, or the CISM, Chief Information Security Manager, or the risk manager. So these are the top position who will guide the entire team towards the effective implementation of the information security in any organization, and the defining the roles and responsibility of either Information Security Manager or the CISO or the CISM or the risk manager. So each and every risk should be, I have told you that you have to make a risk register, and that if it is possible, break up the risk processes into the sub process, so that the risk register should reflect all type of risks. And if you break up the processes into sub processes, you will be able to plan a effective mitigation plan. Okay, and this plan is to be reviewed in a regular interval, which your organization will decide whether you will review it yearly or 6 monthly or quarterly. The review of the information security risks plan or the mitigation plan, whether it is as per your plan, or if any changes is to be made in this plan, is to be reviewed in a regular interval. The step 3 is the ISMS initiation. The ISMS initiation, the process approach. You know that process approach, all are the qualified engineers. So process approach towards the continual improvement. In any standard, there are 4 to 10 in this standard of ISO 9000, ISO 14000, ISO 22301, or ISO 27001, or ISO 45001, or ISO 50001. You will get a high level structure and the SLA. On the basis of this SLA, every standard has been framed out, so that multiple standard can be combined with the integrated management system, if any organization. And this high level structure is talking about the process approach towards the continuous improvement. Every standard ultimate goal is the continuous improvement for managing either their quality or their occupational health. And if it is a ISMS, that managing the information security in a effective manner and move towards the continuous improvement. Now, mind it that ISO 27001 is not specifying a particular continuous improvement methodology. Instead, it is allowing the organization, wherever it is needed, that improvement should be there. That means ISO 27001 not only focusing to the particular area or the particular information, it is focusing towards the entire organization's information asset, by which method the information assets can be made secure. Now, in this methodology, the policy is on the top. That means number 1 is the policy, information security policy. This is the responsibility of the top management to frame out the information security policy and other various policies which are stated in the Annexure A of ISO 27001, which derives from the ISO 27002. Now, procedures to enhance the policy's requirement. Now here, after framing the policy, the procedure for policy's requirement. There should be a procedure how the policy will be framed out in line with the standard requirement. Now, work instructions, or you can say SOPs. The SOPs and work instruction which describing the element of the procedures. It is, I think it is very well known to you that the procedures, SOPs and work instruction must be there when you initiate the ISMS. Recording or tracking methods or recording or tracking mechanism by which you will track or you will record the performance of your ISMS implementation within your organization, and this tracking or recording should be done continuously and consistently in a regular interval. Now you have to ensure that policies are implemented. There are various policies. The policies are implemented. So you all, I would like to request that you go for this standard ISO IEC 27001 and get a close look in the Annexure A, where everything is written. Every 114 controls are written there, and what is to be done, what is will the description, and how the control will be implemented. It is completely written where the policies is required, where the procedures is required. It is completely mentioned in the Annexure A of the ISO 27001-2013. Now, on the fourth step, that is the step number 4, just a minute. After initiation, in the step 4, the organization should establish a management framework. What is the management framework? The management framework is to plot your every process under one leadership and information security, whether it is a client, whether it is a suppliers, whether it is your vendors, or your organization legal and other statutory and regulatory requirement, the outside authorities, those who are providing you the licenses. So these all should be taken into one roof. That is called the management framework. That everything will be under the management framework. That means ISO 27001 framework. Okay. Now, this framework, how we will establish this framework? To determine that which will be included in the framework, you have to go for the the organizational context in the clause number IS 4.1 for ISO 27001 and the 4.2 of that standard. The 4.1 is talking about the organizational context, everything about the organization, the shape, size of the organization, how many people are working, what is the their activities, everything, what is the boundary of the organization, whether it is a multiple units or not, and the issues, that means challenges towards the protecting information asset of the organization. It may be the internal challenge, it may be the external challenge also, right? Now, organization's logical perimeter must be decided. So it may be logical perimeter must include all the devices that employees are owning. It may be the mobile, it may be the desktop, it may be the laptop, it may be the your tablets, or it may be any system you are using for processing of your organization data. So that your scope can be decided for that particular implementation project of the ISMS. Now the some main points of this management framework, that first is the information security policy. Second is the resources need for the objective. In between this, we have learned about the setting of the information security objective. In between policy and the resources needed to fulfill or achieve the objective, you need the resources, the determination of resources, whether it is a technological resources, whether it is a other resources. It may be technological resources, it may be the manpower or competent person, it may be like this. It may all the IM, that man, machine, material, money, and methods. So you can go for this management framework within that communication strategy. If you go for an implementation, the communication plays a very good role in the implementation. So in every step, communication strategy must be there, that internal and but both internal and external way. The competence requirement of personals. If you want to implement, so you have to map your organization employees or the contractor employees or the vendor employees competence has to be mapped. So whether your information security requirements is fulfilling by the competence of the persons or not. As because that awareness, competence, less awareness or less competence may affect your information security management system implementation. So when you go for this implementation, so everyone in the team, implementation team and other than implementation team, every general employees has to be mapped how much awareness or how much competent they are for that particular information security management system. This is the step 5, the baseline determination of security criteria. This is the very, very important factor when you go for implementation of information security in your organization. The baseline criteria, that means benchmark. Your baseline criteria should be there for any type of process. It may be core security requirement. It may be the legal requirement. Okay. It may be the contractual obligations with the vendors or with any suppliers. It may identify the practice, good practice, the asset identification or asset effectiveness of controls on the particular information assets, ensuring the adopted control which already has been there, and if you apply any control, that effectiveness of that control is to be judged. Meeting the obligation. Meeting the obligation means that obligation, it may be the contractual obligation, it may be the legal obligation, it may be the statutory and regulatory obligation. It is very much important in any organization. Organization should take an initiative to protect their customers' interest. That means customers' data must be safe. Must be safe. You have to track the legal requirements have been made as required by the information security management system. Now, last 2 points are very much important. The appointment of the compliance manager, or as we discussed earlier, that information security manager or the compliance manager, it may be the risk manager, it may be the CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, it may be the Chief Information Security Manager. So appointment of these persons is very much important in an implementation project of ISMS. Changing, why it is not changing? Okay, good. Now on the step 6, the risk management. Now you are moving towards the implementation. You have identified the assets, you have identified your information which is to be protected, you have identified the resources needed for implementation. The top management has given you the support with the resources. It may be the man, it may be machine, it may be material. Now, the risk management process. If you don't go for the risk management or the risk identification, what is risk management? That identification of risks, assessment of risks, analysis of risks, evaluation of risks is all together is called the risk management. If you determine or if you identify any risks, that is the first step of the risk management, identification of risks. If you identify any risks, you have to assess the risks for the degree of the risks, or what is the, you can assess the risks in a quantitative value. So what is the risk level, whether it is low, medium, or high, or very high? Next step is after assessment, the degree or the level of the risks, you have to analyze the risks. How serious is this? Now, as per the seriousness, you have to prioritize the risks. The prioritization of the risks. Suppose you have identified 50 numbers of risks, but when you assess and when you determine the after assessment, when you determine the risk level, you have seen that 5 out of 50, 5 is the high risk. Then you have to categorize the risks, that is high, low, medium, or very high. This in this categorize. After categorization, that you have to prioritize the risks which has to be taken action immediately. This is called the prioritization of the risks. So when you go for the prioritization, so you have to evaluate the impact of the risks on your organization information assets. So these are the steps in the risk management. So in your risk management, you can take the risk management procedures, which is derived generally from the ISO 31000. That is risk management. So this ISO 31000 tells about how the risks will be identified, how the risks will be evaluated, how the assessment will be done, will be the risk treatment, how the categorize, how to prioritize. Everything is under the jurisdiction of that ISO 31000, the risk management. This is a separate standard. So now you have to go for some basic knowledge, that you have to go for a regular risk assessment. You have to ensure that all the risks has been taken into consideration when you go for the risk assessment, and that information security risks has been adequately mitigated or appropriately managed. Now, risk management is a core competence of any organization ISMS. Without risk management, you cannot move forward for a implementation of ISMS within an organization. So we have discussed about all these points, that you have to establish a risk management framework. That means total risk management, that identifying risks, analyzing risks, evaluating the risks, and selecting the risk management option means that categorization or prioritization. It is called the risk management option. How you will reduce, mitigate, or eliminate, or transfer the risks. There are 4 processes of avoiding or the mitigating, eliminating, reducing, or transfer. These are the process for a risk management. Now the risk management, when you go for this risk management needs a clear view and logical sequence, which is followed by the people in the team. That logical sequence to be maintained in a risk management. If you jump from the number one to number 5, you will not be able. That means number 1 means identification of risks and evaluating of risks. If you jump from identification to evaluation, so you will miss the assessment process, the categorization process, or the risk mitigation options. So you have to go in a sequential manner. And this management, top management also understand the risk appetite. It is a very important in the risk appetite. What is risk appetite? That the level of the risk tolerance, how much within the how much degree you have to tolerate this risk. Without above this tolerance level, it will be categorized as a high risk. That means after that risk appetite, the risk is not tolerable. It has to be immediately taken action to reduce, mitigate, transfer, or avoid the risks. So risk assessment, how you will go for the risk assessment. The risk assessment process, if you identify any risks, you have to go for the risk categorization, how you will categorize the risks. That means it is consequences multiplied by the severity of the risks after evaluation. That means impact into likelihood, how much time it is occurring to that organization. You have to measure it, you have to monitor it. Now, what is the impact? That means what is the severity of the risks? On the severity, the damage of your information asset is dependent. If it is like this, the simple chart, it is a simple risk matrix. You might have all know the risk matrix. This risk matrix is to be calculated by the impact into likelihood. That means severity into consequences of risk. Now, by severity multiplied by the likelihood or consequences, you will get a numerical value. So your organization risk appetite is to be dependent on this chart, how much risk is tolerable by your organization. So tolerate, now if it is green, that means it is okay. If it is something that yellow, that you can tolerate the risks by applying the controls so that it may come down onto the green. That means tolerable, within the tolerable limit. Or you can terminate the risks by avoiding the avoiding this type of activities. If your activities can be terminated or stopped, that is called the avoiding the risks. If it is not hampering your organizational process, so you can stop some of the activity to avoid the risks. And the transfer of the risks is the insurance through the agreement or insurance. That is called the transfer of the risks. By this method, you can brought down the high risks to the low risks or the tolerable risks. In this, when you go for this risk approach, risk management, there is a must do act in terms of implementation of the ISMS. You have to make one statement of applicability. That is called the SOA. What is that SOA? This is a list of the necessary control which is written in the Annexure A. In the SOA, for SOA of any organization, all the 114 controls to be included in the SOA, statement of applicability. This is the most important thing when you go for an implementation of an ISMS within an organization. No controls out of 114 controls to be omitted from the SOA. If it is not applicable, then you have to mention why it is not applicable to the particular rates. You have to make a justification of inclusion or exclusion. If it is a exclusion, if it is not needed, it is not applicable, you have to make a justification in the SOA why it is not required. The particular control, why this particular control is not required. If you include it, then also you have to justify the cause of the inclusion. And this SOA will reflect your procedures, by which procedures you are including these risks, how you will including these risks. The procedure reference must be in the SOA. So SOA is a necessary control document, what you have selected, and the justification of inclusion and also exclusion also must be there. And you can frame out this SOA from either from the Annexure A of the ISO 27001 or the ISO 27002, that is a guideline standard which derives all the controls of information security management system central framework for ISO 27001. Now, as per your SOA, the risk treatment plan will be decided. It will reflect your risk assessment. The SOA, why SOA is most important? The SOA will reflect the results of the risk assessment, on the basis of which the risk treatment plan will be determined. For each each and every identified risks which you have identified during the implementation, it requires the treatment. Every risk required a treatment. Now, the essential information security control is to be implemented or applied to the particular risks to make it sure that the information asset doesn't have any threat or it is under the tolerable risks. Now, after 6, that implementation is the 7th. You have done all this. Now, implementation phase, you have done the SOA, you have completed the assessment. As per the assessment, you have determined the degree or the level of the risks by the risk matrix. Now it is time to implement your planning into operation. That is called the implementation. Thus, implementation phase is related to the management system, that is management system, that is ISO, ISMS, and all the processes and the risk treatment plan which you have got from the risk assessment process. Now you have to implement the risk treatment plan. What you have planned, you have to put it into the operation. Now, the actual processes has to be taken with the security control which will protect the information assets as per your SOA. That means as per your treatment plan, which is defined in the SOA. Now you have to ensure the process and control you want to implement or want to apply to the particular risks is completely effective. That means after implementation, you have to monitor it. Only implementation or only applying the control is not sufficient. You have to regularly, you have to monitor how the effectiveness after applying any control. Now you have to make sure that all the employee in that particular process, where you have implemented or you have applied the control are very much competent for that particular control and awareness against the information security obligation. That means it may be the legal obligation, it may be the contractual or any type of obligation made available to your vendors or your subcontractors or your external parties. So obligation is to be mentioned in the. Now you have to develop one process to manage the competencies of the person to achieve the ISMS objective. In the project phase, project mandate phase, after the project mandate, that project initiation, that you have learned that you have to frame out or establish an objective, ISMS objective. Now the competency has to be checked to achieve the ISMS objective within your organization after implementation. So what is competency? Competency is the mixture of skill and knowledge of any person. Okay. So how to implement, how to understand, what to be done, how ISMS is to be operated. This is the skill part, and the awareness or the knowledge about the information security management system standard ISO IEC 27001 is the knowledge part. So competency is the combination of the knowledge and skill of a person. So it may be possible that some member of your organization may not need to acquire the appropriate qualification, focusing towards the ISMS, which is being implemented in your organization. And this ISMS need some qualified auditor, internal auditor, to check the effectiveness of the control you have applied or you have implemented. It should be regular, that in a regular interval, the internal audit by the qualified internal auditor is to be made. Now you keep it in mind that employees are the most vulnerable point of an organization where from the data may be leaked, knowingly or unknowingly. The employees are the most weakest point of an organization where from the information asset may be leaked or may be breached. So all information is needed. As per the step 3, you have to document every need of your implementation process. You have to document your everything in the step 3, go back to the step 3 and come back again to the step 7. That means documentation is a must-do act in the implementation process for the future reference. Now in step 8, you have implemented the ISMS, what you have planned, your risk treatment plan already with your SOA, and as per the SOA, you have applied the controls. Now you have to monitor, measure or evaluate or review the whether your applied control is sufficient or not. If it is not sufficient, if after monitoring, if you found it is not sufficient, then you have to apply more controls. If any one control is not sufficient, you have to apply more control on that particular risk. How you will determine that more control is needed? By monitoring and measurement. By monitoring, you might have known that by monitoring, you will get a status. And by measurement, you will get a value. So by monitoring, you will get a status. After that status, you have to measure the that particular control. How effective is this? You will get a numerical value. It may be numerical value, it may be quantitative, it may be qualitative. Now, after monitoring and measurement, you have to review that the results of that result of the monitoring and measurement. Now, monitoring and measurement, how you will review? What will be the mechanism of the review? It may be the monitoring, measurement, and review. That is a combined process in step 8. By monitoring, measurement, and analysis and evaluation, you will find it in clause number 9.1 in the organization, in the ISMS standard. Internal audit is one major tools of the top management to verify the effectiveness or to check the effectiveness of the applied control. It is on the 9.2, clause number 9.2 of ISMS, and the management review. The effectiveness of the applied control, whether this is working good or not, whether there is any gap, you will get that gap will find out by the internal auditors in course of internal audit, and you have to, as in top management or as an CISO or CISM, you have to measure, review the result. The result input. What will be the result input? Result, when you go for the review, you should have got some inputs. After reviewing, you have to take a decision, and that is called the output. The decision making process is called the output. So input may be the monitoring and measurement and analysis and evaluation results. The input may be the result of the internal audits, and that review input may be the risk assessment process, which is on the clause 8.2, and risk treatment plan in clause number 8.3. And you have to, that input may be the matrix or the method by which you are implementing the ISMS within your organization. All these are called the inputs. Now, when you go for the review, you will get some decision. You will make some decision. Now, the decision making is called the output. This output review may be the any type of corrective action recommended by your CISO or the top management or CISM. The corrective action against any type of gap you have found or any type of weakness you have found in your management system, the immediately is to be plugged, and the corrective action with a root cause analysis is to be conducted. Now, after implementation, after management review, all the process has been completed. Now you have already implemented your ISMS within your organization. from step 1 to step 8, you have completed the implementation. That first is the project mandate. Second, you have gone for the project initiation. Then in third, fourth, fifth, you have already assessed, monitored, measured, and you have taken into consideration the issues, everything you have taken, and you have implemented a effective information security management system within your organization, and you have already tested your implementation process through the internal audit, through your SOA, and through the risk treatment plan. Now your final step will be the certification steps towards the ISMS. This is the final step of the ISMS. Now, the certification will be made by any external third-party certification body who don't have any relation with your organization. So certification audit, by the certification audit will determine your ISMS, how the strong your ISMS is, which you have implemented in your organization. If you have got the every documentation towards ISMS is complete or not, that means that just a minute, I am admitting that. Okay, good. So your ISMS needs some documentation like policies, like SOA, the risk assessment, risk treatment plan, the identification of weakness, gaps. So all has to be documented. So in external audit, it will be checked whether all the documentation is completed or not. Now, when you go for this certification audit, so review your certification before going for the certification audit. And this certification audit will be done by third party neutral body in a 2-step. That is, one is stage 1 and second is the stage 2. Now, when certification audit is being conducted by a third party, so you have to ensure that all of your staffs, organizational staffs, must be get ready to any question, any inquiry raised by the organization auditors. Your staff must be able to answer it with an open mind. Okay. So, as an implementer, you have to ensure that all of your staffs during the certification audit has got the thorough knowledge of ISMS. That means before going for the certification audit, you have to test their competency or their awareness towards the ISMS of your organization. So this is the preparedness before certification. You have to check your all the documents. You have to ensure that all the staffs are ready for the any type of queries or any type of question made by the auditors. They have to be very much comfortable. They must feel the comfortable to answer it. Okay. Now, what is the benefits of this implementation? We have already discussed about the benefits previously. So, after getting the certification, or when you face the certification audit, so this will boost a staff performance and overall productivity. It will engage the employees to motivate in a motivated manner for implementation process of ISMS. So they will be accustomed to all the requirements of the ISMS needed. So they will be able to resolve any type of security problem occurs towards your information assets very quickly and resolved in a timely manner. If they or the employees are very much competent, they can handle it with a good manner. Now, ability to responsibility, that everyone has to be responsible for their security control. So responsibility of the employees will enhance. That is the benefits of the implementation of ISMS. If you implement the ISMS within your organization, it will help you to make the better decision for protection of your information assets and reduce the vulnerabilities and improve your efficiency towards the continual improvement in the ISMS, which may be termed as a improvement of the ISMS performance of an organization. Now, if you go for this continual improvement, it will reflect in your organizational customer confidence. If the customer data is protected, then customers will get more satisfied and more beneficial. Now, the steps we have already discussed. That steps. The first step is all the requirements of the ISMS is to be checked. That means clause number 4 to clause number 10 in ISO IC 27001 is to be checked. The gap analysis, when you go for that implementation, you have to make one gap analysis or risk assessment on your information technology sections or the departments or any other operational processes, and it may be with your client, it may be with your vendors, or subsequent risk treatment plan after framing out the SOA. With that SOA, you can evaluate the risks, apply the particular controls to the particular risks, and you will be able to lower down the risk level, and you will be able to either reduce or mitigate or eliminate or transfer the risks. So by doing this, you have to conduct a periodical meetings of your ISMS team, which you have already formed during the implementation with a designation of the CISO or CISM or risk manager like that. So you have to go for an every time to time guideline or discussion or team meeting within your organization to promote the ISMS in a better way in your organization. Okay, now that's this ISMS Annexure A has got the 14 domains and the 114 control. Within these 14 domains, there are 35 control objectives and the 114 controls are there. So you have to frame out the SOA that is most important, and the SOW. It is also important, but it is not a mandatory, but this SOA is the mandatory. That when you go for that implementation, that SOW, that statement of work, what you have to do, that is the one statement, the step-by-step work you have to do. So this SOA and SOW is important, and SOA is the most important. Without SOA, you cannot implement one ISMS within your organization. Now, gap analysis and placing report is the one step. The risk analysis, risk assessment, and placing report. That means every step you have to make a documented information. Making the asset register. This is the steps of the implementation. The making the asset register and making of risk register. So legal register also to be made, ensuring all the legal compliances. So what is the legal requirement? It has to be mentioned in the legal register. Risk treatment reports and plan. So what you have planned, you have to report that risk treatment, what I have taken, any type of support, conducting internal audit, and this internal audit has to be reported to the management for the review. Now, the ISMS certification readiness. That means before going for the certification audit, you have to check your readiness by reviewing all the documentation, also the practical processes where you have applied any type of control, or you have to check the existing control. If it is needed, the additional control, what you have applied, you have to check the readiness. The periodical checking or periodical monitoring and measurement of all the activities within the ISMS. Now the documentation part, the various policies, guidelines, that means procedures, SOPs, your number of policies should be made, SOA, and the SOPs, baseline data, risk acceptance criteria, all to be made available to the auditor as a preparedness plan. Now, why any organization will go for the ISO IEC 27001 certification? If any organization get ISMS ISO 27001 certification, that will enhance their credibility, that will enhance their recognition globally, that will enhance the organization consistency towards the ISMS, because the ISMS implementation is not a one-time process. It is a continuous process. You have to maintain, monitor, you have to go towards the continual improvement. And if you effectively appoint any type of, if you effectively implement your ISMS within your organization, it will reduce your cost in a various manner. As because if you maintain it, you will be able to reduce so many costs for the fresh assessment or fresh implementation or the any type of non-conformity raised by the third party, that again that implementation of some controls or corrective action, it all will be reduced. If you, that means if all the cost, the substantial cost is reduced, then your revenue enhancement may be there. Let me check the. So, Mudassar, you have, I appreciate your concern that you have asked for the sharing the recording of the session. So it is, you can, in this regard, you can talk to KBS certification, whether they will provide you the recording of this session or not. This is not in my hand. That is, you can directly contact KBS certification, though who are the organizer of that this webinar. Thank you. Now, the more points, why the certification, ISMS certification. Now that this will promote a classic governance level within the organization. Any type of, during any operation, any level, you can use the ISO symbol within your, if you are is a packaging organization, if you are a manufacturing organization, you can use your logo, ISO logo in your letterheads, in your packaging, and in your documentation also. So this is a brand value will enhance, and you will enjoy a classic governance level of that particular certification of ISMS. Now, if your organization is ISMS certified, then your customer will be satisfied. If the customer is satisfied, that retention of customer and the valued patronage will be there. That means the organization can enhance their brand value with the customer satisfaction. And if you have got a ISMS certificate within your organization, so it will enhance your marketing strategy and marketing techniques, that you can say that in our organization, customer data is protected. We can assure that the customer's data will be protected, whether it is a small organization, whether it is a big organization. Now this ISMS overview, we have already discussed about this. So ISO IEC 27001 has got 10 clauses. The clause number 1, 2, and 3 is not auditable clauses. Okay. And this clause number, from the clause number 4 to 10, which is governed by the PDCA cycle, that clause 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is auditable clause. So when any organization implement the ISMS within their organization, they have to take care of this, all these 7 clauses and their sub clauses, as because the 7 clauses are auditable clauses. Now in the Annexure A, there are 14 domains and the 35 control objectives are there and 114 controls. So you can get this list of the controls in the Annexure A of ISO 27001. What are the 14 controls? That it starts with the control number 5, control objective number 5 to 18. That 5 is the policies, IS information security policy. Control number 6 is the organization of information security. Number 7, control objective 7 is the HR security, human resource security. The control number 8 is the domain number 8 is the asset management. Domain 9 is the access control. Domain 10 is the cryptography controls. Domain 11 is the physical and environmental control. Domain 12 is the operational security. Domain 13 is the security communications, that is the communication security. Number 14 domains is the system development of the system. Domain number 15 is the supplier relationship, how the supplier or vendors is to be controlled. That domain 16, that incident management, any type of incident is there, that incident, how you control the incident management. Number 17 is the business continuity management system within the ISMS. And number 18 is the compliance of requirement and compliance of the legal and other statutory and regulatory requirements. These are the 14 domains. Under these 14 domains, there are 35 control objectives and 114 controls, which you can get in the Annexure A. Now there is a category of control. In this 114 controls, there are three types of category. One is that physical control, one is technical or technological control, and third is the operational control. Now, physical control, example of the physical control that you are implementing or you are placing the surveillance camera, biometric lock, biometric punching, face detection, eye detection, any type of door alarm or locked entrance is under the category of the physical control. Now the technical control may be the system control, it may be the hardware, it may be the software or any type of application used by the organization. Example of this control is the encryption, firewall, antivirus, password protection, authentication, ACLs, etc. And the operational control, that last category of the operational control is the control which is implemented in your day-to-day activities. It may be the training. Training is also a control, that awareness, risk assessment or risk management, that internal and external audits are the controls. Management review is another type of control. The incident management is also the operational control. These are the three category of the controls is being applied in all the 114 controls in the Annexure A, which is derived from ISO 27002. Now we are coming to the conclusion. This webinar is provided a basic useful view of the implementing the ISMS within any organization, and it has been described in this webinar that the benefits and needs of ISMS, what is needed, what is the steps you have to take when you go for that implementation of ISMS within your organization, that with the scope of consultancy through our business associate. If your organization want to go for that implementation of ISMS. Also, we can provide our business associate for the consultancy of your organization, and certification through our certification body. Our certification body is also eligible for the certification under the NABCB or the jazz ranges. And I would like to say you that the feedback of this webinar is very much sought from your side with your open view, so we can develop much more in our future activity of knowledge sharing. Any question, my dear friends? Yes, the Mudassar has asked that what factors are considered as criteria. So the criteria means the benchmark. When you go for that SOA, so you have to check, you have to identify first the risks. And the main factor is the for that SOA, framing out SOA to risk acceptance criteria. That means how much your organization is tolerating, the tolerance limit of the risks on the basis of your risk assessment process. So if you go for the risk assessment, you will get a level of the risks. On the basis of that level of the risks, you have to decide that organizational activity. What is your organizational activity? As per this activity, you have to decide as per the categorization of the risks, which you have already categorized in your risk matrix, that every risk has got their own risk tolerance level. So as per the categorization of the risks, you have to decide the risk acceptance criteria. So Mr. Mudassar, I think you got your answer. Thank you. Thank you. Any question? Yes, Anirudh, I can explain the factors are considered in business continuity policy. The business continuity is a main important part of one integral part of the ISMS, where the disruption occurred, any type of disruption, whether it may be a power failure, whether it may be a failure of your server, which is called a disruption. Now, in this business continuity policy, you have to mention that within how much time that your response will be there against any type of disruption. your business continuity policy will reflect your intention towards the resumption of the business as usual. That means within the how much minimum time limit you will able to restore your business as usual. It should be covered in the business continuity policy. I think Anirudh, you got your answer and you are satisfied? Okay, thank you. So let me call it for the day, and if there is anyone from the Nikhil is there or not, I would like.
Yes, sir, I'm there. I'm here, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, Nikhil, over to you. Over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. And thank you so much, everyone, for participating in the session. And I hope and I believe everyone got their answers which you asked to our tutor, our speaker. And thank you so much. Your feedback is so valuable for us. So you can do one thing. You can give us your feedback over our mail as well, or you can provide a short video so that we can post it over our social media sites as well. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, Nikhil, one question was asked by Mr. Mudassar.
Yes, sir.
That whether I
That
am
presentation.
the presentation. So I told that it is jurisdiction of the KBS certification.
Yeah, actually it's a recorded session, sir. So we will share this link with you, and we will share our YouTube link with you. Shortly we'll post it over our YouTube, and you can get this PPT presentation from there, sir.
Right, good. Wow, very good.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So can I call it for the day? Anyone, any question? So thank you. I once again want to thank you all the participants for attending my knowledge sharing session through webinar, which is organized by the KBS Certification Private Limited. I am also thankful to KBS Certification entire team to give me the opportunity to share my knowledge within the valuable learner like you all. Thank you very much, the participants, all of the participants and KBS certification for giving me the opportunity to share my knowledge. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.